Hey everyone, welcome back to Wonderland Wednesday, or if this goes up the day I'm shooting it, Wonderland Weekend, maybe. Um, I've been really busy lately. I've gotten a full-time job, which has kind of taken over my life, and I haven't had time to work on my YouTube channel as much, and the self-imposed deadline of Wednesday doesn't seem to be working very well for me anymore. I've told a few people that if I do another series, I'm not going to put the name of a weekday in the title because it's just too hard to force myself to keep up with that schedule anymore. Anyway, I wanted to make a quick video this week. I suppose this is for last week, but I'm making this on Sunday, and hopefully the video is going to go up on Sunday. A few months ago, I got a book, a Wonderland book. It's actually called Wonderland. I got it so that I could review it, but then I ended up not really caring for it that much, and I just kind of forgot about the book. And I've been meaning to talk about it, even just briefly, but it's one of those things where it's kind of got away from me. So this week I thought I would do a quick video about that, as well as sort of an update on my channel, what I'm planning to do in the future. So let's do the review first. This is the book. It's called Wonderland, and yes, it looks like a library book because it was a library book. I ordered a used book on Amazon. I tried to find a new one because I like new books, and I thought from reading about this book that it was going to be something I was going to really love and I was going to want to own. So when it first came and I realized that it was an old library copy complete with scribbled out stickers and the weird plastic coating that they put on library books, I was kind of disappointed. And then I read the book and I was like, I don't really care anymore. The premise of the book sounded really interesting. There's a girl in the front, as you can see. This is not Alice. This is Marianne, the same Marianne that the rabbit references in the original book. The Marianne that he, for some reason, thinks Alice is. This is his maid, and this book is about her adventures in Wonderland after Alice has already left. And from that description I thought, well, this could be interesting. They could take this in some strange ways. But the whole thing really ended up feeling like poorly thought out fan fiction. It was strange, and there wasn't much in it that I was really into, and I actually found myself getting rather bored reading through it, which is not something that you want in a book. I can tell you the highlights of this, because there were a few interesting things. One of the most interesting things was the fact that they included the Jabberwocky in this version, but he's kind of ugly, and I really didn't like him that much. I did find it interesting that they had the Jabberwocky go and attack the Queen's garden, and then they have the Queen getting angry at the Jabberwocky and eventually slicing off his head. Another interesting touch that I found was the fact that they had her end up in the treacle well that the Dormouse was talking about, and even finding the sisters who were down the well, except they look like weird zombie creatures. And I don't know why. It's like, what's the point of that? It was just something weird that they threw in to sort of reference the original story, I guess. It was also interesting that while she was down the treacle well, she found another queen, which I actually liked that twist. This is the Queen of Spades here. There was a queen for every suit in the deck of cards. It turns out that the Queen of Spades is the only one left. Basically, you find out that the Queen of Hearts had thrown the Queen of Spades down the treacle well, and then later in the book you find out that the Queen of Hearts ended up pitting the Queen of Diamonds and the Queen of Clubs against each other, and basically they poisoned each other. Yeah, so basically I think the biggest problem with this book was it just did not feel like it was part of the Lewis Carroll universe. The world that he created, it did not feel like a part of it at all. Except for this one page, which I found rather funny. It did feel like something that he might have written, sort of. This is after the Queen of Spades and the King of Spades have been rescued from the treacle well. The Queen of Spades orders the king to come with her, and he says, I have an opinion. You have a what? How dare you? And the Mad Hatter pops up. Where did he get it? And the March Hare, is it dangerous? The Queen of Spades says, I have all the opinions and I will not share. I demand you give it back to me straight away. And that's basically the only thing in this book that actually made me laugh. Which is sad. I guess if you're really interested in the world of Wonderland, maybe look into this book. But I found it boring, and I wouldn't read it again. I'm probably going to sell it on eBay or something. I don't know. I don't really care to keep this book. It was okay for once through, but I was bored most of the way. So, I guess that's my review of that. Take it for what it's worth. If you're really into Alice in Wonderland things, you might be interested in it. But if you're a casual fan, I think you'll probably find it as boring as I did. Anyway, that's it for that. So for future Wonderland Wednesdays, I am going to have another Wonderland Wednesday on Wednesday. We had a request for a review. Sarah and I reviewed it at the end of March when we were together. So that's going to be on Wednesday. And I've got one more filmed with Sarah. After that, I have one or two more that I'm going to review myself. And then I think Wonderland Wednesday is going to go on a hiatus for a little while. I really need to catch up on some other videos, and I have a series planned for July that I need to work on. I'm planning to do Christmas in July. After I finish what I've already got planned for the next few weeks of Wonderland Wednesday, it's going to go on maybe an indefinite hiatus. It'll be back eventually, but I've got a bunch of other series that I have planned that I really want to work on, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to schedule all of them. I'm kind of thinking I may go to a non-schedule. Like, I was trying to do a video a week, and if you follow my channel very closely, you'll realize that that has not really been happening. So I think in the future, I'm just going to make videos when I have the time to make videos, and maybe I'll get into a groove with my new job where I can get videos out a little quicker. But right now, I feel a bit overwhelmed trying to get things out on time, and I would just prefer to not have that deadline hovering over me like a little dark cloud. Wonderland Wednesday will eventually be back, but some other things are going to take its place for a while. Anyway, I think that's all for now. Next week, we're going to be reviewing the 1988 animated version, so you can look forward to that, and we'll see you then.